All right, the last things last. Now we have Bad Boys for Life. So, well, I want you to do the synopsis on what the movie is about. But so, quick history with Bad Boys for me, right? With Bad Boys 1 and 2. And well, for the Was Seen show, well, the collaboration that I had with you, Ricardo, and Samale, right, where we talked about Bad Boys 2, I said that this was probably one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies, part 2. Mainly because of how over the top the action scenes were. Yes, it was very, very, very light of story, very devoid of characterization, but still, it just had a lot of energy, had a lot of like high octane action to it, and like I just see it's just one of those shows that even if you have like probably 1 hour sleep, like you could be like just tired, like dog tired, you could watch this and just be exhilarated though, because it's just so high octane, right? But that was back in 2003, right? And before that, well, back in 1995, well, we had the original Bad Boys, right? The first movie. And I remember when that came out, I remember how big a deal it was. I was too young to see it because, well, I don't know, I was like, 11 back then? I wouldn't have seen it because it was like 40 years and over, but I remember that being a big deal. Mainly because, well, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, you know what I mean? Both of their shows were on primetime TV. You know what I mean? I loved Martin. I loved Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because that came out before. It's like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, my parents carried me to see that shit. They really didn't give a fuck.
Your parents are awesome. Your parents are very, very, very awesome. But yeah, so I eventually saw Bad Boys when I saw it on network television, you know, in USA, when you used to sense out words. You know what I mean? What is like, so the part where they were in the corner store, they say, "You freeze, bitch." I forget what they say though. I forget what they say, but you know, they kind of censor lines though, you know what I mean? And then I eventually watched that.
That's in the store, right? It's freeze mother bitches.
Yes, that was it. No, but they censor the F-bombs, okay? No USC used to do that, but I forget what it is they say. But the lovers or something, I can't remember what it was. Something, yeah. But yeah, so I eventually saw it uncut, really dug it. Yes, it was very derivative, very formulaic, but because it's Martin Will on screen, it's like, yeah. And that was, well, of course, everyone's first introduction to Mr. Michael Bay, right? It's like, okay, he could do flashy action movies, show Miami as like the most coolest looking place ever in the world, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean, the camera work that he used, the action, the music, everything kind of worked for it. Like, it's a very 90s movie, and that's the reason why I dig it so much, because it just reminds me of, well, the 90s, right?
But, I still consider it a great action film. It's something about that I'm gonna talk about. I'll talk about the issue I have with this film because of that film, right? Not so much the second, but it's for the first one. But yeah,
all right. Well, I'll talk about the first one in particular with this new one here, right? And last thing I'll see with Bad Boys 2, which I did see in theaters, because I was old enough, right? Yeah. I was just blown away by the action, you know what I mean? But like I would admit, like, yes, it does kind of show the characters in this reckless light. Like, yes, that's kind of like the thing about, well, you know, Marcus and Mike, right? They will do the job, they will stop the bad guy, but they have like this recklessness about them. They will cause more accidents, more, you know what I mean, more harm than good, that kind of vibe, you know what I mean? But it was just, you know, how they amped up the action in particular, right, compared to the last one. And right there, you know what I mean, like this was like a sign of the, you know, the beginning of the end of Michael Bay, you know what I mean, him just not just making like these over the top action scenes, but just kind of believing that he was like some kind of action god, and like he could just not give a crap about story, but he'll give you all this action. He just had to eat it up. I think this was around the time when we started making the joke about I think Robot Chicken made the joke with you know, Michael Bay explosions, you know what I mean? So it was around that time that was like, hey, literally any movie with Michael Bay, you're gonna get explosion. This one was just so much explosions, which I'll also talk about with this movie here. So just a run through of what Bad Boys for Life, aka Bad Boys 3, is about.
Right, so they're getting old.
Yeah. No surprise.
They're getting old.
They're the 50s, they're the early 50s now.
Right, they kind of drifting further apart, at least ideologically, about whether or not they're gonna continue being cops or retiring. And they have to do the paradigm of, well, is it really going to be Bad Boys for Life? And the story kind of it have a little quick dumb action sequence in the beginning where you find out what it was about. they make they call back probably one of the more funny bits from part 2, where you find out who the father of the baby is. So you'll understand that immediately, right? And then they kind of just going on living their life. They introduced this new character. I forget her name. She's the head of ammo.
Which is this sort of sorry, her name is Rita, actually.
Right. And basically, she's the head of ammo. She's this tech team. Yeah, not tech team.
Well, it's basically tech-based police squad kind of thing.
Yeah. They basically NCIS, right?
Yeah. Just with younger people in it.
Yeah. It's a young, sexy CSI group, right? And they know how to hack everything and whatnot, right? And then, so they made a bet. So that's where the big inciting incident of the story is, where they made this bet and to have a running race and say whoever win, you win the bet. And the bet was, retire or stay, asking Mike to ask Marcus to do that. And Mike was winning, and then you see some guy on a bike come up and bust some P90 shots in Mike's chest. And you're thinking, shit, Mike is dead.
So Mike get hit to that drive-by.
You find out that it's something that Mike was connected to. Well, they showed us a little earlier scene, and this basically this hit list that Mike was on, and he was the first to be taken out, quote unquote. And then this guy started going after a bunch of others to take them out. That's pretty much his script. So it starts. And you slowly but surely figure out what's going on, what the big thing is, who the killer is, who is the person hiring the killer, and why and how Mike is connected to all of that. And that's the story. I thought the script in this was good. I actually really like the script in this. It's a good story.
Same. Yeah, I agree.
Right, but the problem, I thought almost all of the energy and delivery is drained out of the story. And I don't know if that's supposed to be part of the getting old, or the just was kind of just half-assing it, but that just drained all of the energy. And I thought the action was kind of weak. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I kind of miss Michael Bay, even though he had a small cameo in the beginning of the movie.
Yes, he did. Okay, so this is where things can get a little tricky here talking about this show, right? So, allow me to begin. So, I wrote on Facebook, one of my posts was, okay, I can't believe I'm seeing this, but this just might be the best entry in the series thus far, right?
Right.
And this is just more because of the story. But what I was saying,
right?
Yeah, the story is, okay, so we're not ranking these amongst the greatest movies of all time, right? We talk about as far as bad boys movies go, right? Which is not bottom of the barrel, but I mean they formulaic, right? They are basic, right? In nature. So I like that with this one, they were self-aware. They actually knew, okay, we're being silly here. We have to update some stuff here. We can't do the same stuff from 2003 to 1995 here. But we have to update things. We have to, especially with Marcus and Mike, right, where their directions are in life and stuff like that. What I would say though, as far as the story, it's very the way how I see it, right. The writers for this, I could tell that they probably look at the first film, the 95 film, as inspiration, because at least with this one, with that one, they managed, even though not fully successful, they managed to blend the humorous moments with the action, with the seriousness. So this one here, you'll laugh, right? You'll get your action, but ever so often they'll hit you with something dramatic. You'll hit you with something tense. You'll hit you with something like, oh shit.
So
shit just get realer,
Yeah. So the working comparison for this is Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon.
Which in a way is like what Bad Boys, the first one, was mirrored as well. It was the shifted tones. It's very Lethal Weapon.
Very Lethal Weapon, very Miami Vice kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But the big sell, sorry to say it, but the big sell of that this franchise is not the script. Even though I think the script is the best script, it wasn't the script. It was one factor. Only one factor. It's a big goddamn factor.
William Martin?
Well, yes, but I would think it's really Michael Bay himself and his style. And I felt
I would say that two is you want to really set that up. Where it's like, oh, no, but you really want to see the best of Michael Bay? Watch.
But I still consider one my favorite because one just had a style to it, or just an energy to it. It just had these shots.
It did. No line. It did. Yeah.
I feel this film just missed that completely, Dread. Like, it just had no... I don't know, it just feels so bland and flat. Even though I like the script.
Yeah. Okay, so...
It had no activity that I liked. It just had no... I don't want to say, like, for lack of a better term...
It's not as high octane as... Well...
No. Like, for lack of a better term, this film kind of had no soul. Now I'll say. Or at least it had its own thing that didn't really line up with me. Because I still consider the first one an excellent action movie.
It is. It is. Yeah.
And the script for the first one is a simple script, but because Mike, Marcus, and forget the girl name from the first one, share them box.
Tia Leone, I think that was the actress name, right? But yeah, you're right though. Thinking about it because it was Michael Bay. You know, he was moving from music videos to doing action. And look, I'm gonna give you a really stylized action movie that you haven't seen before, and it's very 90s, and that's what works. You know what I mean? Right after the music calls and the colors, cinematography, all that stuff, right? What I would say with this, right, in this movie's defense, it was both like the directors themselves, right, was trying to do their own thing, like try to do modern take on it, but at the same time, because you have so much diehard fans in the movie, and because of the huge gap in time between 2 and 3, you kind of have to please the fans there. So you have to give us some of the B-isms. But I would admit, when they try a couple of B-isms, especially like the 180 shot, where you see like the two characters looking up, it kind of didn't really look all that
shot. They completely waste that shot in the scene because
it just didn't look good though. Like,
nobody
had a way of doing it. Like, they have a way of doing it, but in this case, it's just like he just doing it because it's a Bad Boys movie, right? It just came out like that.
Yeah, in the first film, you do the shot after an amazing fucking action sequence. Like, I still consider that
sequence is awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. And then at the end of that, you do this amazing shot. The second film did something similar, right? Great scene. They had it
right after. Oh gosh, who's the guy? The gangster, forget his name, right? The wannabe Scarface. Call Marcus and tell him, "Oh, we have your sister," and then you get that shot, and then we say, "Shit just got real." Great moment. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. In this one now, he get kicked in the chest and he get back up. And like, all right, well, why are they using it here? Like, to me, they could have like have a big reveal. Okay, well, there's a big plot reveal in this, and that is when they could have hit you that. You don't know how to use the telephoto tracking shot there. You don't know how to use it. And they didn't use it properly. They use it in the worst place.
I think, like, in retrospect, though, for this movie here, like, so we did mention that Michael Bay does make a cameo. Did not see that coming a mile away, but it kind of worked. It kind of worked, especially the context. It kind of worked, right? They could have had he, as a consultant at least to talk to him and be like, okay, how we could take this that you used to do that people like. We like that shot from Bad Boys 1 and 2. We like the B-isms though, even though people will be kind of annoyed by them because he used them in so much other movies. But I mean, it started off with Bad Boys, right? But he could have had as a consultant to talk to him like, okay, what we could do, how we could update this, how we could make it fresh, but we still be Michael Bay at the same time, though, without being too pastiche, that kind of thing though. They could have done that instead of just having him just be there to make an appearance. Like, oh, no, you handle your scene, Jen. You handle your scene. And that's what we kind of get. It's just like these guys handling the scene, but it's like, they clearly they want to do their own thing, but at the same time, we just have to have the Bay-ism stuff. We even have the shot of like the Miami sign out too, which
I wish I don't
keep it a little tweet.
I don't do that shot, right? The Miami sign and then the plane.
And is it just me though? But the framing of it though, it's real tight though. Like, you don't see the full Miami thing. Like in the first two movies, you got it and it looked real good. In this one, it was just so tight though. It's like, it just felt one thing. It just felt so after the fact. Like, okay, we halfway into the movie. What other B-ism we could use? Oh, right, the Miami sign. Right, cool. Let me just squeeze that in. Let me have that as a cutaway. That's how it felt like a throwaway scene there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. As I said, it's my favorite strip because it does a lot of reflexive, introspective stuff about the material for what it's worth, right? Marcus and Mike bouncing off each other. I like a lot of that. The new character Rita, she comes in, she's quite good. even and then the big plot reveal involving the two villains. I thought they were good for what they were.
That was
I thought
great.
the actors. I thought the actors were a little flat for one of the characters, but then they're doing the Fast and the Furious thing with him, so whatever.
Yeah. Speaking
Right.
of those villains, though, I was a little worried about them because we did get wannabe Scarface in the Bad Boys 2. In the first one, we got who it was? I think it was it Peter Skarsgård? I think it was Peter Stormy. I think it was. I can't remember who played the villain.
Stormy.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, no, oh gosh, who was he? I can't remember his name. But yeah, but I don't know, like I just more remember the villain in the second one because he was just so blatantly trying to be Scarface, right? But this one, I'm not saying that they give them a lot of depth, but they were the most memorable out of them, and how they incorporate them into the lives of Marcus and Mike. I love that. I love that because it made it more personal. It raised the stakes up even more. But okay. So we talk about the gripes and stuff like that. But here's the funny thing: I still actually really enjoy the show way more than I expected to.
What saved this one? What saved this one is they actually put the stakes up a lot. So it really felt like some real shit happened in this one, and I like that. Yeah, because they kill characters. they actually
they
kill characters.
They do. That's all we'll say. They do. Yeah.
It worked.
Right. Right. So what else? But I just like the smart callbacks. I felt that they were mostly well thought up, right? The callbacks, the little references to the previous films, the mere fact that yes, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are old, the mere fact that yes, Will is still playing the action hero still, and Martin, he kind of retired, but they just bring him back for this movie. So they play that off very well. I thought that the chemistry still on point. I dug, just like with the first film, I dug like how they shifted tones near effortlessly, I would say though. So you will have a humorous moment, you'll have an action scene, you will have something really tense, really dark, very dramatic, but it never takes away from everything else. So it just has this nice little flow, and it's very reminiscent of the first movie. They tried to copy the high octane action for the second one, but I felt this is where they kind of fell flat. I mean, yes, I dug the action. The action was there, but I didn't feel it as much as, say, the first and second movies. The first one had this dramatic tension, especially when you have Lord Malphs, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the composer, who, by the way, shows up to do the original score for the first movie. That dun, 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 you know what I mean? But like when you hear it in the first movie, that just gets you all popped up there, you know what I mean? Especially with that chase scene that we talked about. And then, 2, this was when, it was just all balls to the wall. It was just high octane, insane action. But this one was just, okay, we don't want to do that because, one sec. I think the reason why they do it is because, people, because yes, it have people who really did not like Bad Boys 2 at all. And one of the main reasons is just because of how over the top and excessively violent felt, right? And I admit it was slightly excessive, but not too much, right? But I felt that, these new guys were like, okay, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be Michael Bay wannabes, so we'll bring we own take into it. But other than just looking good and flashy, you still have to give us that energy. You have to have me. You had to have chills going on, going down my spine. Instead of, okay, I'm just gonna wait for a quip and then I'll laugh and then, oh, that look cool. Oh, we get explosion. Oh, gunshots. You know what I mean? You have to give us a little bit more energy. I felt that was what was lacking with the action scenes. Still, they're very well handled, very well shot and edited, but it just lacked that extra oomph. You know what I mean? But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no. As I said, I enjoyed for what it was, and because the way how everything is, it shaped things up. And assuming the kind of money it may or may not make, I think it's actually on track of doing a lot better than people expect.
Yeah, it actually is because I thought the cash right now, and the kind of want to start work on Bad Boys 4, which is like,
right, especially for a January movie. I would like to see what Bad Boys 4 would be, and if the Bad Boys 4 could have a little more energy to it. Because that's not the problem. It's just the energy misses something about it. That lightning that one had, not there. And get it. It's still, you could spin that as, it's just they're getting old, but no, it's something about it just wasn't there.
Right. And even the over the topness of the second one, like I was expecting this show to be over the top, but still give us a bit of that because like I remember
Right.
majority of the action scenes from both movies, but still it's just like with this one it's like it there, but still come on, it's Bad Boys, right? So once again,
Right.
just having to please the fans, but at the same time you just want to do something different. So I guess at the end of the day, that's the main issue is just that balancing act. Like you want to please the fans, but you also want to please people who never cared for the movies at all. You want to actually show a reason why this movie exists. And for the most part, they succeed, right? But hey, we get a four, so at least they can improve on things. But other than that, though, just to round things up, I really dug this movie way more than expected. I actually really like this show. I have
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
think about whether it is the best, literally in terms of like the series thus far, because I still have fun moments of one. I still have great moments of two. This one has a lot of great stuff in it. I really dug the way how it's paced and the tones and shifting and all that kind of stuff. Acting was solid, cinematography looked great. Music choices. I like the fact that they did not use P Diddy's "Bad Boys for Life" throughout the majority of the songs throughout
Right.
the movie. I was worried about that. I didn't mind bringing in, the original Bad Boy song because you kind of need that in these movies. And how they work it into the movie was really cool as well. Where it's like, well, yeah, we still doing this though. You know what I mean? That was a great joke. The whole I'm an old cop and you know what I mean, you should be retired stuff. They played that all very
Right.
well and little twists and
Yeah.
turns that they do have involving more characters that all were excellent as well and really added a lot. The villains were really intimidating, I would say that much. And they stand out way more than the others. They weren't like cartoons like like the second guy or derivative like the first one. But at the end of the day, it's still your formulaic stuff. If you've seen one Buddy Cop action movie, you kind of know where things are gonna play out here. But it's in the world of Bad Boys. I love that they actually breathe new life into it. Now. So it's not like, oh, this is like the greatest movie ever. But as far as like the series itself, yeah, this is a step up in the right direction. I really can't wait to see what they do next. So yeah, this was a really surprise for me and see that we get this in January. So hey, at least we have proof here that January movies could still kick some ass, right? So
Right.
reason wise, I would go for a lighter, decent format. This I really recommend that you do see this on the big screen. I have 1 and 2 on Blu-ray as a combo pack, so maybe one day I'll actually buy this movie. I actually don't mind adding this to my collection, my movie collection here. It's not perfect, mind you. It's still derivative, still formulaic. And it just kind of lacks the energy that Michael Bay, for better or for worse, fused into both movies. But
Yeah.
it's still a solid effort. It's still a great update of what was long thought to be a dawn, series. And yeah, I just really can't wait to see what they do next. Just
Right.
keep making these smart calls, but just and tweak things for the better. But just don't forget that energy, Jack. And that's what we love in these Bad Boys movies. The energy.
Right. I really hope they get a part 4 for this and the main
Yeah.
character and Mike could bounce off each other a little better. Because I really like what they did at the end there.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
give this I'll
It's
give this
oh, by the way,
a-
it's very Fast and Furious-ish. That's all we'll see without
Right,
spoiling
I'll
anything.
see,
But
yeah.
it
Right.
works. It works. Yeah.
Yeah, but as I say, what I'll say is that I like the script. I just wish they bring more energy, and I'll give this like a low movie tone.
All right, fair enough.
I dug it because it does a good logic thing. Again, that callback to the kid from part 2 is hilarious. Just to see him as this
It
big
is,
buff badass.
and it kind of works. So, by the way,
Yeah.
where Marcus' son? Where's
I don't-
Marcus's son with the glasses? I was looking for him through the whole movie. You saw a picture of, well, basically it's how the son and daughter looked in Bad Boys 2, which kind of make me
Right.
laugh a bit. But still, it's like, where the son? I'm not saying you should have bring the actor back, but whatever happened to him then?
Well,
Don't mention him
I-
at all. You see his daughter, and that's it, dude. Like, what was
I
that?
just remember the daughter from the second one, and then the boy with the fuck up in the doorway.
Well,
I didn't
everybody remember that, but still, there was
Yeah,
the boy.
that's,
So,
dude,
you know,
dude is just a badass marine now. I find that's hilarious.
yeah,
he's a
but
fucking-
to the franchise's defense, you saw more of the boy in the first movie because that's when he was talking to Mike. It's like, oh, like when Mike was living in the household, he was talking about, oh, when I shot these bad guys and stuff like that, and he was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, but still,
Right.
he wasn't like a standout character, but still, he is part of Marcus's family. So where is he though? Just saying.
Yeah, whatever. I forget what he. Anyway, low movie tongue. I don't hate it. Just wish it had more energy. That's what it need. They just need to have that oomph. They need because that's the thing with these movies. Much like the Fast and the Furious movies, you can't have no nowherean director. You need a director who have a style. Get somebody like, I don't know who you could get F. Gary Gray or somebody like that, and bring a kind of certain energy.
He could do a good job. Look at what he did with Fate and the Furious, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But these guys, whoever, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names. They do a pretty good job. And while I don't read it up here, and I'll close off here. Apparently, they're working on a Beverly Hills Cop 4 because
right. So
everybody
that's the
wants
problem
to see Beverly Hills Cop 4.
What if you like these guys? You have a lot of these guys and they tend to mostly be Arabic for some reason, where they'll latch onto some hip hop thing and not do a good job with it. Like, remember, like that guy who did the Wu-Tang album, but the album is real shit.
Oh gosh, that guy who bought the coveted album. I forgot his name. Yeah, I know you're talking about, right?
It coming across like that. It's like, oh, they happen to be doing another famous Black Cop movie back in the come on, whatever. They're doing the Vivo thing, right? They're doing the YouTube Vivo thing, right? They're just kind of buying it out and kind of sanitizing it in a kind of weak way. So they're like,
yeah, for real.
Back to what in the first place.
Yeah, but all I'll say though, well, just to wrap things up, is that if you are a fan of the Bad Boys franchise, you will enjoy the hell out of this. You should go and see this as soon as you can. Go see it on the big screen. Hope that there's a lot of people. I went, saw it with a huge crowd. We laugh at that moment. We actually react to a certain shocking moment. That's all you'll see. So yeah, the audience was heavily invested in it. But I will say, if you have Bad Boys 2 on a pedestal, then yeah, this could be a disappointment for you. Like, if you're expecting this movie to amp up on the action, from part 2, yeah, you're gonna be very, very disappointed with this one here. But if you dug the first one, you love the sort of body cop, sort of formulating aspect of it and the storytelling there, then yeah, you're gonna enjoy this one.